So Trump is calling the Dems bluff, and he is releasing more of the Epstein's information. And what was going on is before Trump didn't want to release the Epstein files. And there's a lot of speculation on that. I personally thought that there was just too many people on that list, that if they would have released it, it would decapitate the government on both sides, both on the left and in the right, and throughout the bureaucracy, also in the private sector. And also it goes international too. There's world leaders and international corporation, heads of international corporations that are also on that list or associates with Jeffrey Epstein. So by implication, because Trump didn't want to release it, the thought was that Trump was on that list. And there's a lot of speculation that maybe Maureen Comey, doctored the evidence that she had kept in the New York FBI office that I suppose she was using as blackmail. And she was keeping it there. Perhaps she would have doctored the evidence there. And I suppose that's possible. We do know that Ghislaine Maxwell's father was associated with the Mossad. And we know that Trump has connections with the Mossad. We know that AIPAC has, its tentacles, not just AIPAC. There's other foreign lobbies that have their tentacles in Washington, D.C. And so that is absolutely most likely a factor too. I mean, part of this is that they don't want Israel to look bad. But because the Democrats keep pounding on the Epstein files, and like I said, by implication, it makes it look like Trump had done something wrong. Trump's like, okay, fine, we'll release it. And now already we have some inklings on the establishment side that don't want him to release it. I suspect that the Democrats really don't want that list being released, probably for the same reasons why the Republicans don't want it released. And that is because there's too many people on it. It's not just that there are Republican donors. There's a lot of Democratic donors that were associates with Jeffrey Epstein that had probably done something wrong on that island or one of his other locations. So it's going to be very interesting. There's already people speculating. They're already taking, emails, and they're looking at reporters from the Washington or from the New York Times, with Jeffrey Epstein talking about what they're going to do with Trump now that it looks like he's going to was elected, the first time. And they're already talking about damage control. They're already talking about, like how they're going to move forward. And some people are thinking that it's because, Trump's on the list. I think it's because Trump is one of the few people that are not on the list. Now, like I said, I think his donors are, or at least some of his donors. And I think that's a problem for him. But, I mean, if he's going to be on his way out, if he's not going to seek a third term, which I don't think he'd be able to, constitutionally, I think it's 2 consecutive terms, which he's got a second term, that's not consecutive. It's interrupted by Biden's stewardship. But nonetheless, he'll be too old anyway. So yeah, it'll be really interesting having this come out. I think, this is my view, I think it's embarrassing for the Israeli government. And it's Netanyahu probably pulling the strings behind the scenes to make sure that this list doesn't come out. And also there's a lot of powerful and semi-powerful people on that list that are connected to every aspect of the so-called leadership of Western countries. So, and I think there's a lot of pressure for a lot of information not being released, but it really should be released. It should have been released immediately, and the chips should have fallen wherever they should fall. So I look forward for it being released. Should have been released a long time ago, and let's just hope that we get transparency, but maybe we shouldn't hold our breath either.